Chief starter Scotty Menlin shows them the 2 to go signal high atop the flag stand. The Troy, Michigan native set to keep the field safe as we get set for 200 laps of action. Brandon Mefford, Marcus Elliott Jr., your front row. Gordon Wallace and Jeff Lane in row 2. Ryan Eminette and Kobe Lane, your third row. Jacob Muncie, Josh Poor, Jimmy Kirby, Brett Miles, the rest of your top 10. CRA pace truck heads to the infield. The field will gain speed down the back straightaway, getting set to go. 200 laps the distance. It's the Doorbuster 200, the opening round for the 2015 Stealth Trailer CRA Street Stocks, powered by Jegs. Green flag off of turn 4. Field safely works through corners number 1 and 2. Battle down the back straightaway. Brandon Mefford in the 83 will jump into the lead and complete lap 1. Gordon Watson sits in second. Battle already for the number 3 spot. Ryan Eminette works to the inside of Marcus Elliott Jr. They're side by side from third on back. Now Eminette will pull ahead for third. Put Eminette into the number 3 spot. Here comes Jacob Muncie in the number 8 M machine. He's trying to get the number 4 spot away from Marcus Elliott. One car headed already to the pit area. The 99 machine, Josh Longstretch. The Meerkat Construction, Bill's Donut Shop machine, headed to the pit area. They were a late arrival here this evening. They head to the pits. Battle already for the number 5 position. The 11 machine, Jimmy Kirby, trying to get past the 20 of Marcus Elliott. Kirby has a strong car. He's going to try to get to the front early. Right behind them, the defending champion of the event, Josh Poor. Poor in the 27. Then it's the 00H of Brett Hudson. Then the 68 of J.J. Schaefer. Side by side, still working for the number 5 spot. Kirby still hounding the inside machine. The number 20 of Marcus Elliott Jr. Front 4 cars working single file. Side by side still for the number 5 spot. Elliott just won't give up the outside lane. Elliott clears the 11 of Jimmy Kirby. Kirby going to have to drop back to second. Right behind him, sitting the number 6 spot. Brett Hudson works side by side with Josh Poor. Side by side from 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Now Hudson's going to clear the 11 of Jimmy Kirby. Here comes Josh Poor to the inside of Jimmy Kirby. Put Josh Poor up another spot. Put Josh Poor up to 7th. Jimmy Kirby back to 8th. Schaefer 9th. Jeff Lane sits just inside the top 10. Field starting to get strung out around this 3/10 mile here at Shady Bowl Speedway. Battle going to be for third here in just a couple of laps. The 8 of Jacob Muncie trying to work the inside of Ryan Eminette. Right behind them, back for the number 6 position. Josh Poor looks to the inside of the 00H machine. That's Brett Hudson. Hudson started 13th. He's working his way up to the field. Now here comes Josh Poor down to the inside. Josh Poor works side by side. That's for the number 6 position. You see the 8 machine of Muncie taking a look to the inside of Ryan Eminette. That's going to be a battle for third. Eminette third, Jacob Muncie 4th. Then it's the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott rounding out the top 10. Race leader Brandon Mefford already up to about a 7 car length advantage in that number 83 machine. Mefford your leader. Gordon Watson second. Eminette third. Muncie 4th. Takes a peek to the outside. Jacob Muncie, that 8 machine, trying to find a way around the 1 of Ryan Eminette. Josh Poor, the 27 car, he's taking a peek to the outside. He wants inside the top 5. Back behind them, the 21 machine, Jeff Lane, sees a challenge from the 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. Good side by side racing all around this 3/10 mile. Back up for the number 4 position. Muncie, Poor, and Elliott continue to battle. Brett Hudson right behind them. Josh Poor in the number 5 spot, the 20 of Marcus Elliott, 6th. Brett Hudson 7th, J.J. Schaefer 8th. Battle is for 9th. Brett Miles Jr. trying to clear the 21 machine of Jeff Lane. Put Miles to 9th, put Jeff Lane back to 10th. Battles for 11th. Colby Lane tries to get around. Now he indeed will clear the 11 of Jimmy Kirby, and trouble off of turn 2. Trouble off turn 2. The 7R machine of Rodney Roush goes for a 360. Wasn't really any contact between him or any other car, but nonetheless, Rodney Roush spins down to the infield, and the first caution flag will indeed fly. Scott Menlin puts one finger in the air. The field is doubled up. Pace car pulls ahead of the field, set to go back to green. When they see the green flag at the line, we'll have 21 laps completed, 179 laps to go here in the Doorbuster 200. It's Mefford, Amonette, Muncie, Poor, and Elliott, your top 5. They'll build speed through corners 3 and 4. Back to green flag racing we go here at the bowl. Amonette and Mefford trade some pain on the front stretch as they go down into turn number 1. Side by side they'll work. It's Mefford on the inside, Amonette on the outside. Ryan Amonette pulls ahead by a nose, coming through corners number 3 and 4. Who's going to lead it at the line? Give it to Ryan Amonette. Amonette, your leader. Mefford back to second. The Newcastle, Indiana driver, Ryan Amonette, pulls into the lead. Mefford back to second, still side by side for the number 3 spot. Jacob Muncie on the inside, Josh Poor on the outside. It's side by side from third on back here at Shady Bowl. Josh Poor in that 27 machine making that outside lane work. He'll pull into the number 3 spot ahead of Jacob Muncie. Now Brett Hudson in the 00 machine. He wants the number 4 spot. He'll try to make the outside groove work as they come off at turn number 4. It's Brett Hudson, the 00 by a nose in that number 4 spot. Then it's the 8 of Jacob Muncie, the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. Then it's side by side back behind them. It's the 20 of Marcus Elliott Jr. and the 68 of J.J. Schaefer. J.J. Schaefer with a strong top 10 effort here so far this evening. Schaefer currently sitting in that number 8 spot. Then it's the 44 of Colby Lane, 9th. Jeff Lane, the 21, rounds out the top 10. Brett Hudson sits in 4th. Battle for 5th. Jacob Muncie side by side with Brett Miles Jr. Problems for Rodney Roush again here on the front stretch. You see possibly a flat tire on the number 7 machine of Rodney Roush. And Rodney Roush with problems will come to a stop here at the entrance of corner number 1. Caution flag number 2 will fly here this evening. Tough break again for the number 7 machine of Rodney Roush as he'll draw the second caution flag of the evening. Caution flag flies at lap number 27. Problems again for Rodney Roush in the 7R machine. Field summary again. The 1 of Ryan Amonette, the 83 of Brandon Mefford, the 27 of Josh Poor, 00 Brett Hudson, 8 Jacob Muncie, 52 Brett Miles Jr., 68 J.J. Schaefer, 20 Marcus Elliott Jr., 44 Colby Lane, and then it's the 21 machine of Jeff Lane as we see the 7R machine of Rodney Roush come back onto the racetrack. He'll make the restart. Through corners number 3 and 4, they'll build speed once again. 32 laps completed, 168 laps to go. Green flag back out here at Shady Bowl. Ryan Amonette pulls into the race lead once again. Here comes Josh Poor down to the inside of Brandon Mefford. Josh Poor goes into that number 2 spot. Battle going to be for 3rd. Brett Hudson, the 00, ahead now of the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Mefford back to 4th. Battle for a top 5 spot. Jacob Muncie on the inside of Brett Miles Jr. Now Miles pulls ahead on the outside. Brett Miles Jr. now into the top 5. He'll set a challenge now for the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Mefford was your early race leader. Brett Miles Jr., the 52 machine, coming on strong in that machine out of Muncie, Indiana. The McGonigal Engine Performance Miles Motorsports car number 52. Right behind him, the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott Jr. Elliott's been strong early as well. Ryan Amonette starting to try to stretch his lead. He's got about a 3-car length advantage over the defending champion of this event, the 27 of Josh Poor. Side by side from about 10th on back. Problems for Jacob Muncie in the 8. The 8M of Jacob Muncie starting to free fall back through the field. Problems for the Columbus, Ohio native, a regular over at the Columbus Motor Speedway, trying to invade here tonight at Shady Bowl. He's going to fall to the tail of the field. Top 3 cars running in lockstep. Ryan Amonette, your leader. Josh Poor starting to close in on him. Josh Poor takes a peek to the inside lane of Ryan Amonette. Brett Hudson sitting right there in third. Then it's about a half a straightaway back to the 83 of Ryan Eminette. Brandon Mefford, Brett Miles Jr., and Marcus Elliott sit 4, 5, and 6. Ryan Eminette, your race leader. Single file formation throughout the majority of the top 20. Then it's side by side back in the field. Jason Atkinson trying to come down to the inside of the 8 machine. That's Larry Roberts, the second. Then back behind them, it's Jake Hinton, the 58 of Larry Lathan, and the 55 of Phil Jenkins. Colby Lane takes a peek to the inside of the 3 machine of Jacob McElfresh. Colby Lane trying to work his way up to the field. Side by side, back behind them, the 00 machine. Make that the 0 machine of Ricky Young, holding off the 29 of Young Campaigner, the 29 of Mason Keller. Josh Poore in the 27, mounting every challenge he can, trying to get around the 1 machine of Ryan Eminette. Eminette looking strong here early, still working in the first quarter of this event here in the Doorbuster 200. Problems in turn number 4. It's the 0 machine of Ricky Young looping it around. Ricky Young with problems, the driver out of Beaver Creek, Ohio, the Moore Trucking Shady Bowl Speedway Hangar 18 race car Chevrolet. Was hoping to have a strong performance here this evening, but right now those plans get derailed. Ricky Young spins down in corners number 3 and 4. Field showing the 1 to go signal at the line. Will have 52 laps completed when they see the green flag. It's Ryan Eminette, Josh Poore, Brett Hudson, Brandon Mefford, Brett Miles Jr., Marcus Elliott, J.J. Schaefer, Jeff Lane, Jacob McElfresh, and Colby Lane, your top 10. They'll build speed again through 3 and 4. Restart comes at lap 52, 148 laps to go. Green flag back out. Again on the break, Ryan Eminette pulls into the race lead. Brett Hudson going to battle Josh Poore for that number 2 spot. Hudson looking strong in the inside lane. Poore trying to battle back on the outside. Hudson not having anything with it, but here comes Poore once again. Brett Miles Jr., that number 4 position, sitting there just waiting. Now Hudson and Poore sort themselves out. Hudson goes into second, Poore back to third. Now Brett Hudson in the 00H will set sail on your race leader, Newcastle, Indiana driver, Ryan Eminette. Battle back first, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. The 68 of J.J. Schaefer trying to hold off the 21 of Jeff Lane. Then it's the 3 machine of Jacob McElfresh on the inside, Colby Lane on the outside. Colby Lane trying to power around him. Colby Lane, that 44 car in the outside lane, he's maybe going to give up that number 10 spot to the 11 of Jimmy Kirby. Behind Kirby, you see the 73 of Jason Atkinson, the 29 of young driver Mason Keller, and problems down the backstretch. Yellow flag going to fly, problems on the back straightaway. The number 86 machine of Matt Clark from Greenfield, Indiana, comes to a stop down in the grass of corners number 3 and 4. Matt Clark from Greenfield, the Harold Lowry Whiskey Business Sports and Entertainment Chevrolet, a rookie competitor here on the 2015 campaign for the Stealth Trailer CRA Street Stock Series. 4th caution flag flies here this evening. Restart lineup looks like this. It's the 1 of Ryan Eminette, the 00H of Brett Hudson. 27 is Josh Poore sitting 3rd. Brett Miles Jr. sits 4th. Marcus Elliott Jr. sits 6th, but to his inside sitting in 5th, the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Set to come back to green. 62 complete, 138 to go. Green flag back out, here we go. Ryan Eminette battling side by side with Brett Hudson. Here comes Josh Poore down to the inside, trying to get that number 2 position back. Side by side, they still work for a second. Poore is going to clear Hudson down the front stretch. Put Josh Poore back into that number 2 spot. Hudson back to 3rd. Brett Miles Jr. sits 4th. Then it's the 83 of Brandon Mefford trying to get that number 5 position away from Marcus Elliott Jr. Brandon Mefford, that Sunnyside Motors car number 83, trying to crack his way back into the top 5. He was your pole sitter in this event. He's trying to get back into the top 5 and possibly get back to the lead. Mefford, Elliott works side by side for 5th. Then running back behind them, it's the 68 of J.J. Schaefer. Side-by-side action. Further back in the field, it's a father and son battle. Colby Lane works to the inside of Jeff Lane, and the yellow flag's going to come out once again. Problems in corners number 1 and 2. 5th caution flag of the evening going to fly as the number 8 machine goes for a spin. That's Larry Roberts II, the Owensboro, Kentucky driver. The Yellowbanks JAB Payne Racing Engines Chevrolet. Your race leader is Ryan Eminette. Josh Poor in the 27 sits second. The 00H of Brett Hudson third. Brett Miles Jr. sits in fourth. Brandon Mefford, the 83, sits in fifth. When they see the green flag at the start-finish line, it'll be 74 laps complete, 26 laps till the halfway break. They build speed again through 3 and 4. It's Eminette and Poor, your front row back to green. Ryan Eminette pulls back into the race lead. Brett Hudson pulls back into second, putting Josh Poor back to third. Battle for that number 4 spot. It's the 83 machine of Brandon Mefford into the inside of Brett Miles Jr. Seeing some body work flapping on the number 86 machine of Matt Clark, but he'll still continue on near the back of the field. Still side by side, up for the number 4 spot. Brandon Mefford trying to hold off Brett Miles Jr. Sitting in 6th, possibly in the catbird seat. Marcus Elliott Jr. from Sellersburg, Indiana, trying to find a way around the 52 of Miles. Mefford going to clear Miles off of corners 3 and 4. Here comes Elliott down to the inside of Brett Miles Jr. Marcus Elliott Jr. pulls into the number 5 position. Brett Miles Jr. back to 6th. Seeing plenty of momentum shifting as cars continue to adjust here in this long distance event here tonight at Shady Bowl. Going to be interesting to see later in this event whose cars were set up for long distance setups. Ryan Eminette still out in front, continuing to rack up laps led. Hudson sits in second. Brett Hudson, a driver down around the Owensboro, Kentucky area, the Warwick Tubing Corporation Hudson Machine Shop Chevrolet. He sits second, then right behind him, it's the 27 machine of Josh Poor. Battle back for 4th. Marcus Elliott takes a peek to the inside of Brandon Mefford. They touch a little bit through corners number 1 and 2. Side by side, they bang doors, they trade some paint. Marcus Elliott Jr. down to the inside. He's going to get the number 4 spot away from Brandon Mefford. Marcus Elliott Jr. into the number 4 spot. That puts the 83 of Brandon Mefford back to 5th. Sitting in 6th is Brett Miles Jr. 7th, the 68 of J.J. Schaefer, and 8th, the 44 of Colby Lane. Jacob McElfresh and Jason Atkinson. That completes your top 10. Brett Hudson takes another peek to the back of Ryan Eminette, but can't do anything with him. Again, these teams cannot change tires through the duration of this event, so guys are going to have to try to do their best to save their stuff here over this long 200-lap feature event as we continue to work our way towards the halfway point. Eminette getting a little testy with the slower vehicle machine, the 14 of Robert Amos. Amos pulls to the high side. Eminette and the leaders all going to get past. Eminette, Hudson, Poor, Elliott, and Mefford. All your top 5 get past the 14 of Amos. Now here comes Brett Miles Jr., Colby Lane, and J.J. Schaefer. They'll all make their attempt to get past the solar machine of Amos. Josh Poor taking a peek to the inside of Brett Hudson. Can't do anything with him. Josh Poor, the number 27 machine. Right behind the 00H of Brett Hudson. About a 4-car length disadvantage the second and third place cars have to race leader Ryan Eminette. Now here comes Josh Poor down to the inside of Brett Hudson. Poor going to clear Hudson down the backstretch. Put Josh Poor back into the runner-up spot. Hudson back to 3rd. Elliott 4th. And Mefford a little bit loose off at corners number 4. That's going to cost him some time. Tires possibly getting a little greasy on that 83 machine. He's going to lose all kinds of ground to the 20 of Marcus Elliott, and that's going to put him right in the wheelhouse of the 42. Make that the 44 of Colby Lane. The 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. works side by side with Colby Lane off at turn 4. Battle still working for 6th. Colby Lane going to get around the 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. Colby Lane clears him down the back straightaway. Put Colby Lane up into the number 6 position, right behind the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Miles back to 7th. Schaefer 8th. Atkinson 9th. The 3 machine of McElfresh rounds out your top 10. 11th sits the 11 machine of Jimmy Kirby. Then it's the 29 of Mason Keller, the 21 machine of Jeff Lane, and the 55 of Phil Jenkins. Battle back up further through the field. This is going to be a battle for about the number 8 position. Jason Atkinson down to the inside of J.J. Schaefer. Put Atkinson ahead of Schaefer. Atkinson starting to come on strong here as we work in the later stages of segment number 1. Mefford again squirrely off the 4th corner. Mefford going to lose the spot now to the 44 of Colby Lane. Brett Miles Jr. trying to find a way around him as well. Marcus Elliott takes a peek to the inside of Brett Hudson as we have a couple of cars spun down in corners number 1 and 2. 6th caution flag of the evening going to fly as problems for the 55 machine of Phil Jenkins. It's the 29 machine of Mason Keller, also spun around down there in corners number 1 and 2. 6th caution flag will fly. Caution flag will fly at lap 92, just 8 laps away from the halfway break. 1 to go signal shown to the field. Your running order again looks like this. Ryan Eminat the 1, Josh Poor 2nd, Brett Hudson 3rd, Marcus Elliott sits 4th. Colby Lane, Brandon Mefford, Brett Miles Jr., Jason Atkinson, J.J. Schaefer, and Jacob McElfresh rounds out your top 10. Four-lap dash to the halfway break. Aminette and Poor will bring him again back to green. Bouncing in the flag stand, Scott Menlin. Green back out here at Shady Bowl. Ryan Aminette again with the brake on the restart. Problems on the restart back near the tail of the field is James Kirby with a little bit of a stumble on it. 3 until halfway this time by. The battle sits for the number 4 spot. Colby Lane on the inside of Marcus Elliott. They touch just a little bit. Colby Lane going to clear him down the front stretch, and that's going to open up a spot down in the top 5 for the 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. Side by side for the number 5 spot, the 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. trying to get around Marcus Elliott. They're side by side from about 5th on back. Brett Miles Jr. works side by side with Marcus Elliott. Jason Atkinson clears the 83 machine of Brandon Mefford. Lap 99 complete this time by. We're 1 away from the halfway break. Up front, Ryan Aminette, still your race leader. Josh Poor going to mount one more challenge. Is it going to be enough? We'll wait and see. Checkered flag is going to fly for the first segment. Checkered flag goes in the air. Your leader at halfway going to be the one of Ryan Aminette. Josh Poor 2nd. Brett Hudson 3rd. Colby Lane 4th. Marcus Elliott 5th. Then it's the 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. Good first segment of this one as the caution flag flies with the checkered. Field going to come across and see the halfway mark there at the checkered flag. So 100 laps is complete. And we have approached the halfway mark. Good chance for you to go downstairs, visit the concession stand, see the folks from Phantom Racing Gear with the official apparel of Champion Racing Association. Pace car starts to accelerate ahead of the field as we will go green. 100 laps complete, 100 laps to go. The lap count freezes here at the halfway mark for teams to work on their cars, so we will resume action still with 100 complete. Again, your rundown. Ryan Aminette, Josh Poor, Brett Hudson, Colby Lane, Marcus Elliott Jr., Brett Miles Jr., Jason Atkinson, Brandon Mefford, J.J. Schaefer, and Jacob McElfresh, your top 10. They build speed halfway down the backstretch. A quick restart for this one. Coming to green we go. Scott Menlin puts the green back in the air. Josh Poor with the advantage on the restart. Noses ahead by about half a car length down the back straightaway. Josh Poor pulls into the race lead. Can he hold it? Coming through corners 3 and 4. To the race lead goes Josh Poor. Poor by half a car length that time by Ryan Aminette trying to clear him back, but now Aminette's going to cede the lead to the 27 machine of Josh Poor. Hudson back to 3rd. 20 machine of Elliott back to 4th. Battle's going to be for 5th. Jason Atkinson side by side with Cody Lane. Elliott clears Atkinson. Colby Lane clears Brett Miles Jr. Battle going to be for the number 7 spot. Brandon Mefford works to the inside of Brett Miles Jr. Back behind them, the 68 of J.J. Schaefer works to the inside of the 3 of Jacob McElfresh. Good action here in the top 10. Mefford going to clear Miles down the backstretch. He works now into the number 7 spot. Mefford to 7th. Miles 8th. Schaefer 9th. McElfresh a little bit squirrely. He's going to lose the number 10 spot now to Jimmy Kirby. Jimmy Kirby cracks into the top 10. Still a side-by-side battle for the number 8 spot. Schaefer on the inside, Miles on the outside. They work side by side off of corners number 4. Schaefer by a nose, that time by. Josh Poor starting to stretch his lead. He works ahead of the one of Ryan Amonette by about 5 car lengths. Then it's another 7 car lengths. Back to the number 3 car, Brett Hudson. Hudson's going to have his hands full with the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott. Side by side, they work for third, headed through corners 1 and 2. It's Marcus Elliott in the 20. Brett Hudson in the 00 on the inside. Put Elliott up into the number 3 spot. Here comes Jason Atkinson. Hill is going to challenge for 4th. Jason Atkinson going to clear the 00H of Brett Hudson. Put Atkinson up into the number 4 spot. Hudson back to 5th. Colby Lane. He'll challenge now. He's going to try to get to the inside of Brett Hudson. That's going to be a battle for 5th. Colby Lane down to the inside of Brett Hudson. Lane inside of Hudson. Lane's going to get him possibly some problems here. On the restart for the 00H of Brett Hudson. Here comes the 83 machine of Brandon Mefford to the inside of Brett Hudson. The Kentucky driver and the winner last year at Kentucky Motor Speedway starting to free fall somewhat. It's Atkinson 4th, Lane 5th, Mefford 6th, Schaefer up to 7th as Schaefer gets around the 00H of Brett Hudson. Jimmy Kirby, he's going to mount a challenge there as well. Don't count out the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. It's Jimmy Kirby working side by side with Brett Hudson. Single file formation through the top 7. Kirby's going to get around the 00H. Here comes Brett Miles Jr. there as well. Race leader Josh Poor going to be getting into slower traffic here in just a couple of laps. First victim of his probably going to be the 58 of Larry Lathan. It's a 6 car length difference to the number 1 of Ryan Amonette from the race leader Josh Poor. Then another 6 car lengths back to Marcus Elliott Jr. Then another 6 car lengths back to 4th place, the 73 of Jason Atkinson. Colby Lane reigns out the top 5. Make that Brandon Mefford sitting in 6th. Battle still for 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th as Jimmy Kirby holds off the 68 of J.J. Schaefer, the 00 of Brett Hudson, and the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. Larry Lathan, the 58, takes his car pit side. Problems for the 58 machine. Larry Lathan, the competitor out of Campbellsburg, Kentucky. The Working Western Outfielders, Nakona Belt Company, Twister Hat Chevrolet. Tough break for the Jeff Lathan-owned car number 58. Side by side, they still work for about the number 7, 8th, and 9th position. Brett Hudson to the inside of J.J. Schaefer. Schaefer making that high lane work pretty well in that 68 car. Schaefer pulls ahead by just about a car length and a half. Brett Miles Jr., he'll try to set sail on the 00 of Hudson as well. Jacob McElfresh trying to join the fight. He's going to challenge back behind both those cars. Josh Poor gets around the 84 of Andrew Teepee. Teepee, a slower vehicle. He's going to work his way down to the bottom, and he'll let the leaders get past. Now you see Amonette, the 20 of Elliott, as well as the 73 of Atkinson and the 44 of Colby Lane get past. Marcus Elliott Jr., the Sellersburg, Indiana rookie, holding very well inside the top 5 all practice long, all qualifying, and all race long in that number 20 machine. Marcus Elliott, the Shuffitz Napa Auto Care Chevrolet number 20, he sits in the number 3 spot, biding his time, trying to find a way around the 1 machine of Ryan Amonette. Meanwhile, Josh Poor, your race leader, he gets around the number 12 machine of James Kirby III. He's going to put Kirby a lap down, and he's got his advantage for as far as the lead goes, all the way up to about 3/4 of a straightaway. Battle's going to be mounted here for the number 3 spot pretty quickly. The 73 of Jason Atkinson working hard the back of the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott Jr. Don't count out Colby Lane. Lane sits there. He sits in about the number 5 position. Colby Lane with a very strong run in that 44 car. As the top 5 cars work in single file, and then it's about a half a straightaway back to the number 11 machine of Jimmy Kirby, then the 83 of Brandon Mefford, the 52 of Brett Miles Jr., the 68 of J.J. Schaefer, the 3 of Jacob McElfresh, and back behind them, free falling here on the restart, the 00H of Brett Hudson. Field continuing to make laps. Good, strong run here on the restart. You see some problems, and spinning on his own in corners number 2, the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Tough break for the 83 machine of Brandon Mefford. Lost it on his own after battling in traffic. He got really loose going into corners number 1 and 2. Couldn't get it gathered up coming off the corner. He'll loop it off the corner as we see right rear tire flat on that number 83 machine of Brandon Mefford. Brandon Mefford draws the 7th caution flag of the evening after a good solid run here after the halfway break. Field shown the 1 to go signal, 130 laps completed that time by. We'll get the green at lap 131. Josh Poor, your leader in car 27. Ryan Amonette sits in second in car 1. Marcus Elliott Jr. sits third. Jason Atkinson fourth. Colby Lane rounds out your top 5. Scott Menlin bouncing on the flag stand. Green hanky back in the air. Here we go. Josh Poor with a fantastic restart, jumps into the race lead and already stretches it out to about 3 car lengths. Marcus Elliott Jr. shoots to the number 2 spot. Ryan Amonette with a horrible restart. He's going to fall all the way back to possibly out of the top 5. Elliott up to second, Colby Lane up to third, Jason Atkinson fourth. Here comes the number 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. He's going to crack into the top 5, and problems for Amonette. Amonette gets squirrely, something possibly going wrong on that race car. Now the 67 of Robert Amos Jr. loops it down into the infield, and the 1 car of Ryan Amonette, all kinds of slow down the front stretch. He may be taking that car pit side as the caution flag will fly as the 67 machine of Robert Amos Jr. comes to a stop down in the grass of corners number 4. He gets the car back going, as that will be the 8th caution flag that flies here this evening in the Doorbuster 200. 63 laps to go when they come down to get the green flag. Josh Poor, your leader. Marcus Elliott Jr. second. Colby Lane, Jason Atkinson, Brett Miles Jr., your top 5. They build speed practically only halfway down the backstretch. Green flag goes back in the air. Back to green we go here at Shady Speedway. Again, a good restart for the 27 of Josh Poor. Colby Lane shoots up to the number 2 spot. A semi-bad restart for the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott. He's going to drop back. He'll see a challenge for the number 3 position to the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. Brett Miles Jr. in that number 52. Going to shoot into the number 3 position. Elliott starting to fall back a little bit. Hard on the brakes. We saw some sparks out of the bottom of the 73 machine of Jason Atkinson. Atkinson sitting in 5th. He's trying to work his way up into 4th. Good run for Jacob McElfresh, that black number 3 machine. He sits in 6th. Jacob McElfresh in that car number 3 started all the way back in the 20th position. Side by side, they continue to work for that number 4 spot. Atkinson, the 73 machine, former champion in the Boris Welding and Steel CRA Late Model Sportsman Series. Trying to clear the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott Jr. Side by side, Atkinson, Elliott, squirrely works the 3 of McElfresh. Possibly catching the brakes on that number 3 of McElfresh. Got it caught up going into corners number 1 and 2. He'll stay in that number 6 position. Right behind him works the number 12, make that the number 11 machine of Jimmy Kirby. Side by side again, they work for that number 2 spot, the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. Trying to go to the outside of Colby Lane. Up in front, stretching his lead again, Josh Poor in car number 27. Josh Poor, your leader. Colby Lane second, about a half a straightaway back. Right behind Lane in the 44, it's the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. and the 73 of Jason Atkinson. Then it's the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott rounding out the top 5. Side by side, they battle again for 3rd. Atkinson down to the inside of Miles. Atkinson, the 73, the Oak Motors car number 73 Chevrolet. Newcastle, Indiana driver he is. He's trying right now to go inside to the top 3. Brett Miles Jr. still holding strong in the outside lane, the driver from Muncie, Indiana. Rounding out the top 5, the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott Jr. Back behind them, side-by-side battle. Jimmy Kirby, the 11, side-by-side with Jacob McElfresh, sitting right behind them, trying to find a way around. It's the 63 of J.P. Crabtree. Battle side-by-side for 4th and 5th. Now Marcus Elliott going to clear the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. Side-by-side, still working with it. It's the 3 machine of Jacob McElfresh trying to get around Jimmy Kirby. J.P. Crabtree stuck right back behind them. He currently sits in 8th. J.J. Schaefer back behind them in 9th, and it's the 10th place machine of the Lincoln Continental of Jake Hinton. Jake Hinton started all the way back in the number 18 spot, working his way slowly but steady up through the field. Side by side again, Crabtree works with McElfresh. This time, Crabtree's going to clear McElfresh as the field continues to work single file and log laps. Battle back for the number 11 spot. We see the 57 machine of Danny Adams battling with the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Those two cars sort themselves out. Mefford works his way around the 57 of Adams. Field single file all the way around this 3/10 mile here at Shady Bowl as they continue to log laps. 150 laps completed, 50 laps to go. With 50 laps to go, we see the 86 machine with problems. Matt Clark, the Greenfield, Indiana driver, slowly. He's going to go across the top of the racetrack. He'll take his car pit side. Less than 50 to go. Your rundown again. Josh Poor, the 27, your race leader. Second place, the 44 machine of Colby Lane. Third place, the 73 machine of Jason Atkinson. Sitting in the number 4 position, the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott. Fifth, the 52 of Brett Miles Jr. Sixth, the 11 machine of Jimmy Kirby. Seventh, the 63 of J.P. Crabtree. Seventh, the 3 machine of Jacob McElfresh. Eighth, the number 68 of J.J. Schaefer. Then it's the 9 of Jake Hinton and the 83 of Brandon Mefford. Leaders continuing to try to chase down slower traffic, the next victim. Looking like it may very well be one of the Kirby cars. As a car that was running strong throughout this event, the 12 machine of James Kirby III may be the next one on the hit list, so to say, of the 27 of Josh Poor. Poor with about a 4-car length advantage over the 44 of Colby Lane. Back for the number 4 spot, we see a side-by-side battle brewing. The 52 machine works the outside of Marcus Elliott Jr. That is the battle for 4th. Elliott trying to make that bottom lane hold strong as the tires continue to wear here at Shady Bowl. Miles Jr. in the outside lane trying to clearing the hard way. Back behind them, sparking out the back of the car is the 11 machine of Jimmy Kirby. Josh Poor, the 27 machine. Colby Lane sits in second. Jason Atkinson tries to get around the slower vehicle of the number 51 machine of Derek Lane. Derek Lane, the veteran from Muncie, Indiana, lets the leaders get past squirrely through corners 1 and 2. The 73 machine of Jason Atkinson really having to chase that race car as we see a good majority of the field really starting to get looser and looser as the sun has officially gone down. And those Hoosier tires really starting to heat up as we continue to make laps here at Shady Bowl Speedway. Marcus Elliott stuck behind the slower vehicle of Derek Lane. Solid top 5 run for the number 20 machine of Marcus Elliott, a rookie campaigner here on the Stealth Trailer CRA Street Stocks Series. Right behind them is the 11 machine of veteran campaigner Jimmy Kirby. Top 2 cars starting to gap the field pretty well. Josh Poor, the 27, the 44 of Colby Lane. They've got about a 6-car length advantage over third place Jason Atkinson. Possible flat tire on that 84 machine of Andrew Teepee. Teepee with problems in that 84. As we do see, that right rear does appear to be low. Andrew Teepee, the Indianapolis, Indiana driver. Teepee slowing once again in that number 84 machine. Battle still brewing between the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott Jr. and the 11 of Jimmy Kirby. Leaders continuing to put cars a lap down as Josh Poor works around the 8 machine of Larry Roberts II. Colby Lane still staying right in the leader's sights. Lane, the 44. Colby Lane, the 44 machine, still chasing that 27 machine of Josh Poor, but he's going to run out of laps here relatively quickly. Laps go fast here at Shady Bowl as they're cutting less than 16-second laps around this high bank 3/10 mile. Josh Poor still putting cars a lap down. Next car to go a lap down going to be the 67 of Robert Amos Jr. Top 3 cars all running right together. Then you got a couple of lap vehicles back to the 4th place 20 car of Marcus Elliott Jr., but he's got his hands full with Jimmy Kirby. Jimmy Kirby sits in that number 6 position. You have the 3 leaders, then the lap vehicle of the 8 machine of Larry Roberts II. Right behind him works the number 52 machine. 170 laps complete, 30 laps to go. 52, Brett Miles Jr. sits in 4th. 5th, Marcus Elliott. 6th, the 11 machine of Jimmy Kirby. "30 laps to go here in this one. It's a standard Saturday night feature from here on out. Josh Poor, that 27 machine, just continuing to log laps. Top 3 cars continuing just to run as smooth as they can be. Good action back in the pack. Jake Hinton works to the inside of Jake McElfresh. Put Jake Hinton up another spot. Battle still continues for about the number 5 position. Jimmy Kirby tries to find a way around the 20 of Marcus Elliott, but can't do anything with him. Side-by-side traffic ahead of the race leader, Josh Poor. If Colby Lane wants to do anything with the race leader, Josh Poor, he's possibly got to do it here. Colby Lane desperately hoping for either a caution or for the leader, Josh Poor, to have some trouble here with lap traffic to where the 44 of Lane can gain some ground. The 84 machine of Andrew Teepee continues to run slow at the bottom of the racetrack. The race leader, Josh Poor, is right there. Poor safely gets past the 84 of Teepee. They'll also get past the 29 machine of Mason Keller. Jason Atkinson sitting in 3rd strongly. Top 3 cars all within 1 second of one another. Here comes Colby Lane. Lane gonna take a peek down to the inside of Josh Poor. Can he do anything with him? Side by side they work off the corner. Poor, all kinds of squirrely. At the line, Colby Lane, your new race leader. Put Colby Lane out solidly into the race lead. Your new leader, Colby Lane, out into the number 1 spot. Side by side, they'll battle for 2nd. Here comes Jason Atkinson now. Atkinson will work side by side with Josh Poor. 20 laps to go, 180 complete. Battle still for 2nd. Atkinson side by side. He'll work with Josh Poor. Poor possibly used up his tires just a little bit too early. But Colby Lane trying to gap the field. Lane now already with about a 4 car length advantage as Atkinson tries to clear Poor off turn 2. Atkinson will clear Josh Poor as they head down the back straightaway. Now Atkinson closes very quickly on the number 44 machine. Slowly but surely. Jason Atkinson closing in quickly to the race leader, Colby Lane. These top 2 cars sat 2nd and 3rd for so many laps, just letting Josh Poor come to them. Now they've gotten past Poor and they'll settle it out here with the final 15 circuits. Brett Miles Jr. still sits by himself back in that number 4 position as we see Jimmy Kirby and the 20 machine of Marcus Elliott Jr. continuing to battle for 5th. Out in front, The 44 machine of Colby Lane continues to hold the lead. Jason Atkinson doing everything he can to run him down. Lane gonna have to try to get past the 68 machine of J.J. Schaefer to the high side. Colby Lane will go. Colby Lane trying to clear the 68 of Schaefer. Jason Atkinson right there as well. Colby Lane in that 44 machine, looking to possibly clinch his first career CRA Street Stocks victory. This time by race leader Colby Lane. We'll see, 10 to go. Colby Lane, 10 laps away from tasting victory for the first time in his young career. But he's got the veteran Jason Atkinson right in his rearview mirror trying to chase him down. 10 to go here at Shady Bowl. Colby Lane trying to get past the 3 machine of Jacob McElfresh. He gets a little bit squirrely. That lets Atkinson close back to his back bumper. Jason Atkinson. Now he'll take a peek to the outside of Colby Lane. He's got 9, make that less than 9 laps to do it. Right at his back bumper. Getting to him is one thing, passing him is another. Jason Atkinson takes another peek to the outside of Colby Lane. Side by side, they'll come off the corner. Atkinson may have a little bit of head of steam. We'll wait and see what he does. Atkinson trying to chase him down. He goes high. Now he'll dart back down low, just trying to find any way he can around the 44 machine of Colby Lane. Top 2 cars trying to stretch away and settle this out amongst themselves. Colby, all kinds of squirrely down the front straightaway. That lets Atkinson get back to him as well. What a show we've seen here this evening here at Shady Bowl. Colby Lane, just a handful of laps away from getting his first career victory. 6 to go that time by. They'll come to 5 to go next time by. Colby Lane slow again. Possibly some smoke out of the back of one of the cars. Indeed, it's the number 8 machine with some smoke going down the front stretch. That's Larry Roberts, the second, with some smoke. Right now we stay green with 5 laps to go. Colby Lane has built up his lead just a little bit once again. Lane, your leader. Atkinson, second. Sitting back in the number 3 spot is the number 27 machine of Josh Poor, but it's a good 3/4 of a straightaway. Back to him. 4th is the 52 machine of Brett Miles Jr. Top 2 cars still stretching it out, but they're going to have slower traffic in front of them. Side by side again for the lead. Atkinson to the outside. Atkinson and Lane wheel to wheel off of corner number 4. They're going to have the slower vehicle of Jake Hinton in front of them. 2 to go this time by. Lane the leader. Atkinson in second. Lane throws the block. Does Atkinson have what it takes here as they see 2 to go this time by from chief starter Scott Medlin? Lead cars having all kinds of trouble. The 8 car going to take his car to the pits. Lap and a half to go. Does Atkinson have enough? Actually, the 8 car going to keep the car on the track. That's Larry Roberts. White flag to go this time by. Colby Lane gets into the back of the 9 of Jake Hinton. White flag going to come out. Colby Lane, your race leader, got into the back of Jake Hinton. Believe this one's going to stay green. Final half a lap as Hinton sits stopped at the exit of corner number 4. Making their way through corners number 3 and 4. Checkered flag going to go in the win. First time winner, Colby Lane, here in the Doorbuster 200. Jason Atkinson second. Josh Poor comes across the line to finish 3rd. Brett Miles Jr. will finish 4th. What a feature event we saw here in the Doorbuster 200. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. First time winner, Colby Lane.
How about that, Shady Bowl fans? Did you like what you saw? Do you want to bring them back again? These guys put on a very class act show. Just trying to kill a little bit of time to give CRA PA announcer Michael McIntyre time to get down trackside.
Race fans, did you have fun tonight in the Doorbuster 200? So what'd you think of that finish? First time winner, car number 44. Doing his dad proud, Colby Lane, first time winner here in the Doorbuster 200. Jimmy Kirby in the 11 machine offering him a good thumbs up. Crew absolutely ecstatic as Colby Lane finally gets the monkey off his back and gets his first career victory here in the Doorbuster 200. Crew congratulating the race winner Colby Lane. Fellow competitor Josh Poor going to come up to him and offer his congratulations. Josh Poor, the defending champion of this event. He's getting the helmet off and up and out of the car. Race fans, Colby Lane, your winner. Nothing quite like the first one. Ladies and gentlemen, first time winner, Colby Lane. Well, that was festive.
Oh, yes. Lap traffic started to be a problem there, but all in all, it was a great race. It was a clean, very clean second half there, and I was able to kind of benefit from that. And I want to thank all these guys for running me clean, and thank all my sponsors, Tom True Auto, Thompson Agri Service, Second Amendment Supply. All them guys, they treat me good, and glad to be here and be in the winner's circle.
This one has to be all kinds of a monkey off your back that you finally got the first career victory. Your dad, Jeff, a longtime winner, strong competitor both in the Super Series and here in the Street Stocks. About time Dad finally gave you some winning notes.
Yeah, it's he's big shoes to fill. So we real proud of this one. I don't know if I'll sleep tonight.
Congratulations, first career win for your winner this evening, Colby Lane.